survivors of COVID. What changes have you noticed to your health since you've recovered? I had COVID in early March. I am 69. When I recovered I was short of breath for a couple of weeks. I might still have slightly reduced lung function still, but I am almost back to normal. I'm so glad you're okay. Happy you're getting back to normal. Glad you're still here. 69 nice. If I live to be 69 I'll lie about my age for 350 more years. Until 424 the quick maths. I'm 28. I had it in late March. I was short of breath for about a month. After that I'm back to feeling 100% normal. Like it never even happened. Same experience here. Maybe up to 2 months with short breath, mostly when exercising. Never without any exertion. Brand new now also. For what it's worth, as someone with very mild asthma, that's basically what it's like. Correct. I haven't gotten it. At least that I know. And I'm experiencing shortness of breath while moving fast and going up the stairs. I haven't really done good workouts in 4 months, almost sad face. Did you get tested? Hospitalized? I'm 24, male, completely fit and healthy. Caught the COVID really early in the lockdown. Was properly ill for 2 weeks and took me 6 weeks overall to recover. Initially even just walking was difficult. But now I am fully back to normal, back to good health. Do you weight train? Do you feel that your workouts have been impaired because of it? I mean, the answer will be yes. Every time I've been seriously sick and had to take 2-3 weeks off from training, it's taken ages to get back to form. 6+ weeks to recover and it got as bad as not being able to walk? Yeah, that'll be a bit of time to get back on top of. I'm 28. Started getting sick the 15th of March and was laid out for 4-5 weeks. Completely, devastatingly exhausted and with one of the worst head and eye aches I've ever had, as a chronic migraine sufferer. After I recovered, I would still get regular dizzy spells when standing up, walking, any sort of minor activity. I almost fainted partaking in the extreme sport of hanging up laundry. That has been the biggest thing for me, the lingering exhaustion and total loss of all my muscle mass and stamina. I'll suddenly get super short of breath from a short and slow walk and have to sit with my head between my knees and do deep breaths and drink some water. Because my face has suddenly gone completely numb and my ears are ringing and my vision is browning out. Now these spells are coming less frequently, but still a couple a week rather than a couple a day. I think based on the rate of recovery it will be another month or 2 before they fully stop. I'm not sure how long the muscles will take to recover. I find them to get incredibly weak and noodly at the drop of a hat. Like doing basic stretching or walk a couple of blocks and they just hit out on me. They seem more susceptible to strains or pulls now as well. It's not great and I don't recommend it. Take it easy on yourself. You will get your stamina and strength back eventually. Resistance stretch bands are great for building muscle at home on legs. I've blown out my ankle twice. And walking etc. can leave you stranded when trying to build muscle back. I found resistance bands really helpful to build leg muscle back up. My roommates called it my chicken leg, it was so tiny after all the weeks out of commission. Also but try upping your salt intake. My granddad has chronic low blood pressure and gets those can't do anything without dizzy spells and black vision moments. His doctor actually recommended upping the salt intake. It seems to help. Oh, that's interesting and I hadn't considered that as I do tend to have pretty low BP and don't eat much salt. Thanks for the advice. I'm not big on working out. I prefer walks and yoga, but some resistance training sounds like a good move for getting over this hump. I've been doing little loops on my walk, so I'll basically go up 2 blocks, left 2, and back, so if I get too tuckered out I can come back home quickly for just that reason. Got stuck at the grocery store on one of my first outings for about an hour cause I was too tired to walk back and haven't wanted to repeat that. For autonomic dysfunction, which can cause fainting, low BP, high HR, swelling, etc. Because why not? Cardiologists often recommend upping salt intake or adding electrolytes. The caution with electrolytes is that the potassium can have a laxative effect and a lot of sweeteners that can have an unpleasant effect if you're sensitive to FODMAPs. I like alt in my opinion grape, but I need to add extra salt. I like Vega, but it doesn't taste as good. I avoid Nuan like the plague, no pun intended, because of the sweeteners. In addition, if you increase your salt intake, remember it is important to increase your fluid intake. The salt hangs out in your blood, and by the rule where salt goes water follows, the salt draws water into the blood, increasing blood volume and therefore blood pressure. When you do this, water comes from wherever it can to regulate the salt level and keep the blood isotonic, which means drawing water from the cells themselves and potentially causing dehydration of the cells and tissues. Increasing fluid intake at the same time as your salt intake increases your blood volume without depleting the cells. Get tested for POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It can begin following a viral infection. A lot of your symptoms sound like it. I'm 22 years old, and despite all probability the disease hit me really hard. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks and had the usual symptoms such as high fever, dry cough and severe breathing difficulties. Meanwhile, I am healthy for nearly 2 months, but my lungs are partially scarred and I have problems getting enough air during even slow running. So I hope you stay safe and take care. It's not only old people who are suffering under COVID and its effects. This is my nightmare. I love to take really long walks, skating and the occasional running, but I have asthma and get bad bronchitis. My fear is that even if I survive COVID, that my life will never be the same. First sign of symptoms started the 13th of March. Kicked my ass so hard I quit smoking. Once the lingering cough subsided, and being able to resist my cravings for my vape or a cigarette, I feel better, but not the same. I'd always had this weird point of pride for my lung capacity. I could hold my breath for a while and I could swim your average apartment pool lengthwise twice on one breath. Even though it doesn't feel like I lost much capacity, I tried to swim underwater and couldn't even make it one go at my apartment's pool. I also can't belt it in my car like my voice isn't completed too. I'll start coughing and feel lightheaded pretty quickly. I don't feel like I lost lung capacity, but it's fairly obvious to myself that I did. Also, my sense of smell and taste have never really been the same. I couldn't smell onions for weeks, if that gives a good frame of reference. All things considered, I had a very mild case, but it still felt like I had walking pneumonia for 3 weeks. In my case, sounds like yours is similar. It's not the actual amount of air you can get into your lungs that has been impacted, but it feels like I'm getting less oxygen from the same amount of air. That lasted for about 2 months for me, just getting proper normal now. Also encouraged me to stay off vape, smoking. Caught it early on the 2nd of March when I showed symptoms. Knocked me on my ass. Couldn't breath at all. 3 months later I still feel like I've just had to run for a bus. Lungs have a cold burning feeling in them all the time. It sucks bad. Does COVID cause scarring in the lungs? Is that why there would be breathing difficulties even after recovery? Yes. As a COVID nurse, I can confirm we've definitely seen many COVID patients have likely permanent scarring in the lungs. It's insane the damage a COVID chest CT shows, even on our youngest patients. Currently have 2 previously very healthy early 20s patients, thankfully expected to recover, but both looking at discharge to months of rehab, PT and diminished lung capacity in the long term. Would love to see an Ask Me Anything from a COVID nurse. I work on a COVID-19 IQ. I'm not really too interested in doing a full-blown Ask Me Anything, but feel free to DM me if you have questions. The diversity of symptoms from one person to the next is just horrifying. It's like COVID spins a wheel to see which organ system will I mess up for this particular person. I was thinking this too. Some people have no symptoms. One friend of mine only found out she had it because she went to the hospital to give birth. This was in Italy, so they test everyone. She was positive and never developed symptoms. Ugh. Not me, but a friend of my mom. She is still recovering after several months. She sometimes faints out of nowhere and has a breathing problem. She also has asthma, so that didn't help either. And this is why I hate all the people treating it like it's over. I have asthma, and if I get sick, who knows if I will ever fully recover. But no, it's fine, you go act like hundreds of thousands aren't dead already. I also have asthma, and honestly I'm terrified right now. I work retail and my work reopened last week with safety precautions that include a maximum capacity of 92 people in our small store. The Best Buy nearby has a max capacity of 4 and their store is twice the size of ours. We have cleaning duties, but we're so busy most of the time we can't get the time to do them. We did $53,000 in sales our first day open, more than we make on Black Friday or even the week before Christmas. Many customers wear masks, but many don't. I feel like it's a cesspool of sickness just waiting to happen and I'm pretty freaking nervous.